Wolf Uncle Chapter 149. Attracted by the movement in the sky, he was suddenly filled with panic again. Damn it, not again. Is there really going to be some doomsday that befalls us? Look, with a figure pointing to the sky, Chen Tian went and returned shouted, that terrifying figure is back. Shit, I feel my body start to tremble. What kind of existence is that person? Not only can you fly, but you can make the world look like this. Is he really not a mythical deity? Time. All kinds of shocked sounds came from all corners of Huadu. The other side 0, at the foot of the 3 curved wing building. Chen Tian, Agent Hill, who had just returned, naturally noticed Chen Tian's figure. At the same time, he also saw Nick in his hand. Fury. Damn, something really happened. She immediately realized the seriousness of the matter. A completely out of control mutant that is not something they can control. You guys contact Tony. Stark took care of the matter. Quote. Hill immediately gave orders to his opponents. Meanwhile, the others in xianxia, when Chen Tian last arrived at the tri-curved wing mansion. Hundreds of contingents have already gathered. This moment saw him return. The captain in charge of commanding the contingent, seeing this scene, gave the order with a solemn face, prepare for action. Yes. When all the contingent members heard this, they immediately took out their weapons and went into a state of readiness for battle. Start walking towards the top floor of the Sank Wing building. Prepare to encircle and suppress Chen Tian. The other side, under the cover of dark clouds. Phew, Chen Tian had already taken Nick with him. Fury landed on top of the tri-curved wing building. Nick Fury, take a good look at the city in front of you, and look at the ant-like race that lives in those buildings. He spoke slowly. At the same time, carrying the latter, he handed it forward, so that his whole person was suspended at the highest place of the 3 curved wing building. The body is constantly swaying with the wind blowing high in the sky. No. Chen Tian, you can't kill me. Nick Fury felt the cold brought by the blowing night breeze, looked down at the altitude of nearly 1,000 meters, and the fear of death in his heart became deeper and deeper. I couldn't help but speak. I tell you, my identity is not only the director of xianxia. You mean, the scrolls will help you? Chen Tian sneered when he heard this. He naturally knew what the real strength of the other party's heart was. And before he was ready to start, Chen Tian had already made all the preparations. Did you hack into my brain? Nick Fury didn't expect Chen Tian to actually know about the scrolls, and his eyes widened. I don't have to do that at all. Chen Tian's expression was already calm, but the red light in his eyes gradually became richer. At this moment, he felt that thanks to Hulk's bloodline, with his anger, the power in his body was constantly climbing. Moreover, the scrolls in your mouth cannot save you, nor can they save this poor race. He spoke coldly. The voice just fell. Phew. A golden red figure in the sky, leaning on the thrusters on his hands and feet, with a tail flame, galloped towards Chen Tian and them. Exactly Iron Man. Chen, put Nick down. Fury. Tony Stark's voice changing, electrically mechanical voice, came out from under the mask. Chen Tian didn't say anything when he heard this, but just shook his head. In the Iron Man armor in front of him, Tony was immediately rumored again. Stark's eager voice. Chen, I know Nick Fury targeted you mutants. Quote. But fighting violence with violence is never the best solution. If you really kill him, it will only exacerbate the conflict between the 2 races. 2.2 Chen Tian heard the other party's set of words and did not rush to reply. Instead, it slowly tightened the buckle on Nick. 5 fingers on Fury's neck. The latter's already hideous expression became more and more ugly, and his hands and feet unconsciously began to struggle. Subsequently, Chen Tian slowly retorted, you seem to have said that you are not a sociologist, and you do not understand interracial hatred. And, if you really want to talk about peace, you're here for more than just a suit. Thousands of miles away, Tony in New York City. Stark, listen to the voice coming from the stereo in front of you. I couldn't help but be surprised, and then explained, the reason why I didn't go directly was because I was worried about my safety. Quote. After speaking, he paused for a moment and continued to speak. Chen, I still feel that the matter cannot be solved by such an extreme way, and I should sit down and talk about it. Quote. The other side, the top of the 3 curved wing building. Chen Tian heard Tony Stark's voice came out of the armor. Smiled softly. Some people feel like wolves, but they are angry about acting like sheep. I didn't plan to do that hard at first. As the words progressed, the murderous intent on Chen Tian's body became more and more intense. But I learned a painful lesson from you, and now I understand a little. You are all wolves, but unfortunately you are too arrogant. As soon as the words fell, his other hand slowly placed on Nick. Above Fury's head, the latter was no longer able to make a sound, and could only struggle even more frantically. Damn it. Tony Stark suddenly realized that the situation was wrong. His voice was a little frightened, urged the propulsion device, and prepared to go up and forcibly save people. However, next second, Chen Tian's 5 fingers suddenly tightened. Boom. Nick Fury's head directly exploded into slag, and blood splashed everywhere. Chapter 102 Agent Hill's Compromise. The Supreme Mage stared at Chen Tian. Damn it. In a mansion in Los Angeles. When Tony Stark saw the picture, when Chen Tian put his hand on top of Nick Fury's head, he immediately reacted that something was wrong. Immediately control the Iron Man warframe and rush up. Unfortunately it was too late. Chen Tian in Nick, the 5 fingers on Fury's head instantly gathered together without hesitation. With his current strength, even crushing steel is only a breeze, let alone a human head. Ugh. Nick, who was held back of his neck. Fury, feeling the thick shadow of death enveloping him, roared in despair. even if he is in charge of SHIELD, which can be called a behemoth. There is even a Scrollen behind him as a backing. But at this moment, facing Chen Qian alone, he was completely a toddler who had no strength, without even the slightest power to resist. Chapter